So I've seen a lot of people comparing Disney's latest show, The Owl House, to Gravity Falls. And while I think The Owl House can stand on its own, I do see some of the similarities that people have mentioned. One of the more intriguing similarities are the hidden messages throughout the show. If you want to know the easiest message to look out for, take the first letter from each episode title and you'll find that there is a message. So far we have a witch lose, so keep your eyes out for that. But there are much more complicated hidden messages in The Owl House than just looking at the first letter of episode titles. I've noticed while watching The Owl House that there are runes and symbols scattered around in each episode. So obviously, as a YouTuber who spends way too much time analyzing cartoons, I figured I would try and decode these symbols. And unsurprisingly to me, people had already beaten me to the punch. I want to credit Annie Star Rose, and Is This Where the Line Starts? Annie Star Rose has done most of the work in decoding everything, while Is This Where the Line Starts has done an analysis and created a table for the known symbols so far. I've linked them both below, so please go and check them out. But with the symbols already being decoded, I had to throw my original idea for this video out the window. However, if you've been paying attention in The Owl House, you'll notice that there are certain symbols that are special from the others, those being the symbols that have the eye in them. If you look closely in each episode of The Owl House that has aired so far, there has been a set of symbols with an eye. Now this is where the decoded symbols come into play. From a lying witch and a warden, we have our first set of symbols here. When looking at the table, we get T and U. From witches before wizards, we have W, I, CH, I again, and Z. From I Was a Teenage Abomination, we see our next set of symbols here. We have another T, an O, an R, and an N. From The Intruder, we have E, P, A, followed by an R and a T, which we have seen before. From Convention, we get another N and OW. From Hootie's Moving Hassle, we get another E, an L, an O, and then another N. From Lost in Language, we actually get a repeat since it is the same set of symbols from a lying witch and a warden, so we have T and U again. From Once Upon a Swap, we have H, A, another R and T, and an S. From Something Ventured, Someone Framed, we have E and V. And lastly, from Escape from the Palisman, we have S, T, O, and N. Now keep in mind that some of these symbols represent vowels, meaning that they represent the pronunciation on whether the vowel is long or short, and not just the letter itself. Similarly, certain letters like C and H when paired together make a specific sound. Thus, the symbol represents the pronunciation rather than C and H separately. But looking at this, we can pretty easily translate what the secret message is. Two witches torn apart, now alone, two hearts of stone. Since each one of these sets of eye symbols appears in an episode, I'm assuming that when season 1 concludes, we will have the full message. But this is where I got my new idea for this video. What does this message mean? And for me, one idea came to mind instantly. This is about Eda and Lilith. Two witches torn apart, now alone could be the rift between Lilith and Eda. Now, this could be a combination of things, this could just be the personal differences, or it could be related to the curse. Either way, based on their conversations in Convention, it seems that it's been a while since these two had last seen each other. In terms of the two being lonely, Eda only has King and Luce. Luce is a relatively new person in Eda's life, and with King, we don't know how long these two have known each other. Additionally, Eda seems to have a knack for making enemies, as we have seen throughout the show. Lilith is a bit more complicated. She definitely seems popular among other witches as seen in Convention. If that extends to having meaningful relationships with others, well, I guess we'll see. But given that there have already been some parallels between Eda and Lilith to Luce and Amity, I would venture to guess that even though Lilith seems to be popular, similar to Amity at Hexside, Lilith probably feels lonely being at the top, just like Amity. Regardless, it's clear that she has a soft spot for Eda, and seems that she genuinely wants to help her. In Convention, she destroys all of Eda's wanted posters in order to see how good of a teacher she is, and when Lilith has the opportunity for a finishing blow, she stops when Eda mentions the curse. In Once Upon a Swap, even though Luce is in Eda's body when she's arrested and brought in, Lilith still tries to bail Eda out by having her join the Emperor's Coven. Basically, even though the rift between the two seems to run deep, they both still seem to have somewhat of a soft spot for each other. And considering that both seem to live rather solitary lives, it would make sense for that soft spot to hold extra significance. The last part of the message is 2 hearts of stone. Now we know that Eda said witches have a bile sac attached to their hearts that allows them to do magic. However, I don't think this is related to the message, because the only 2 witches we have seen with anything resembling stones near their hearts are Eda and Lilith. Now we can see that Eda's stone is linked to her curse in some way, as we see when she transforms back and the stone changes from a black to its usual gold color. We haven't seen anything with Lilith's stone yet, but it's possible that these stones have a special significance for the Clawthorn family, as we have not seen any other magic users have a stone placed on their chest. Now the Owl House just had its mid-season finale, and we don't know when the second half will begin airing, so we'll just have to wait for the rest of the message. But until then, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time guys, take care.